Hey MiniWarGamers, welcome to the Warmachine League Season 4. That's right, we're on to Season 4 talk. So what this is going to be a talk basically about what we learned during Season 3, what we set out to do during Season 3, what we learned by doing it, and then how we're going to adjust the league format for Season 4. So this is kind of a preamble into the league. If you've never watched a MiniWarGaming Warmachine League season before, I kind of want to talk to you guys about what that is and how we do it, and about the previous ones, so that you have some context for the games you're watching for this one. Now, this video is going to get linked in every single one of the Warmachine League Season 4 videos. So if you see someone in the comments that doesn't really understand what's going on or why they're not playing with this army list or that army list, tell them to click that link. Because you've now watched this video, tell them to click that link and come watch this video here. And hopefully it's all going to make more sense. So some history, Warmachine League Season 3. One of the things that we do here at MiniWarGaming when we try and make videos is we want the viewership, you guys, to enjoy this video as much as possible. So when we make videos, we think about the content we're making and what's going to make it diverse, interesting, and fun to watch. So when we ran Season 3, one of the first things we added was achievements, because what we noticed during Season 2, and actually Joel noticed this because I wasn't even here yet, was that there was a lot of games being played between the same armies, the same casters, over and over again. Basically, what the league turned into was guys sharpening a single army list over and over and over again. When you have a small-ish group, let's say 20 guys, playing the same list over and over again, the videos can get repetitive. And so in an effort to challenge the guys to diversify their play style, what he did was he created a list of achievements. And so that you guys understand, the participation awards, so what we give away basically to encourage people to come and play games here at MiniWarGaming, they're based in this last league, Season 3, on the achievements. So the guys are really focused on doing the achievement stuff. So the big plus to that that we learned was you give guys a thing to win at, they're going to try and win at it. Awesome. We saw lots of different warcasters. Lots of different warjacks and models in the games. But the other thing we learned was, the minus was, when guys are playing to win, when you change what winning means, so for these guys getting the achievements, which increased their participation award, that's what winning meant, they still play to win. This is Warmachine. People are going to be playing to win. So the other thing that we had in that league was, for game points, only your best of your first 8 games got scored. So as soon as you had 5 wins, it didn't matter if you won or lost your games. So the net effect of that was we had guys trying to earn achievements, because that's the way that they could basically win overall and win their achievement awards and get participation awards. And as soon as you had 5 wins, if you're a good player and you got 5 wins in your first games, it didn't matter. You're maxed out. You have your points. There's no downside to losing. And so all advantages that could be taken to earn achievements were taken. Warmachine's a game, unlike most games out there, that allows you to attack your own models. It's inherent to the game system. And when the first draft of the achievements got written, that was kind of not taken into account and kind of taken into account. We didn't know how often it was going to happen. But a lot of what happened in the Season 3 was guys would just farm achievements. If they had 5 wins, or if they'd gone past 8 games, it didn't matter how many wins or losses they had. They would just play games to farm achievements. And those got, I'm not going to admit it, less fun to watch. People didn't really understand what the intent was behind the achievements. They didn't really know what was going on in the games. And all you saw was a guy trampling 5 of his own models or blowing his stuff up with his own AoEs and stuff. And it was just weird. It wasn't even fun to film. I'll be honest with you. It was not fun to watch, not fun to film. It wasn't really a game Warmachine the way that we want to make it for the viewership anymore. So that's what we learned was, there's things you have to do when you run a league for Warmachine. Is you got to make sure that, well, not just when you run a league of Warmachine, when you're trying to make videos and run a game of Warmachine, every game's got to be interesting. Both players need to still be playing to win all the time, but you need to be able to diversify what they're bringing and how they're bringing it. So as I was filming the 56-something games with Joel, it became apparent that other people had had this problem before us. This is not the first time that Warmachine event organized play organizers have run into this problem. So what we did was we looked to other formats for how we could make the games challenging, interesting, diverse, but still fun to watch. Every game's going to matter. You're still trying to win every single game. And that's where, once I was made league commissioner, because well, that's what's happened. I'm now in commission. I'm the sort of commissioner for the league. That's where my focus has been. So here's what we're changing in season 4. Every game will matter. So the later ones are going to matter even more than the beginning ones. Because what we want to have happen is if there's a final game and there's 2 clans that are really close in the league, you want to see them play each other, and you want it to be for all the marbles. Like, that's really important. There needs to be a high point, a penultimate finish to the league. So that's what we've changed. Every game's going to matter. We want the players and participants to feel challenged, right? We want you guys, the viewership, to feel entertained and like you're watching a legitimate format. Like we don't want you to watch games that you can't understand and people aren't trying to win. We want you to watch games that you feel like they're trying to win and that you're getting something from. So that's the second thing we're going to change. We're going to change the format structure itself so that the games are challenging and unique. And we want a format that we can repeat and that's robust enough that it can endure the players always trying to break it, right? That's a big challenge. That's a tall order. And usually it takes a few variations to get right. That's why there's a new steamroller every year, right? Is that you want to mix up the rules a little bit, but you still want whatever's a little bit broken in your format to get tweaked and fixed. So between League 3 and League 4, we liked what we learned, and we've come up with the following rules. So what I've got is I've actually got here, this is the player packet that I wrote for this season. Okay, this is the season 4 player packet. And I'm going to go through it with you guys right now. So now you got history, you got what our intent is, what we're changing. Here are the season 4 Warmachine Hordes league rules. And I'm going to post these too. You'll be able to see them posted in the forums. But for right now, here's me reading them off to you so that you can understand what it is. MiniWarGaming Warmachine Hordes League is going to feature a blend of competitive focus and achievement earning. Changes have been made to the achievement list to focus on earning them through legitimate tactical planning rather than through oddball actions. A list building component's been added as well that will challenge players to use different warcasters and a variation of the popular Masters format. So those character restrictions are going to be in place. It's going to encourage playing multiple factions in the league in order to ease the impact of only being able to use named models and units once. Game points will also be spread across all 9 games, meaning that wins will be most important right at the end of the league when players have already exhausted what they feel are their best lists potentially. It's also going to encourage players to play all 9 games. So there's 2 big changes right there. 9-game format, you get to play 9 games in the league. You have to submit, well, I'm going to leave the rules in a second, but all your games are going to count for game points, not just the best 5 of 8. And there's going to be a spread of how they're scored. So I'm going to get into the league rules right now. Each player will submit 9 army lists before the league starts. Each list can be played once. Only organizers will know the list specifics, but each player must declare what faction they will be playing when scheduling their game, so their opponent will know the faction, but not necessarily the list being played prior to the game. They can play any of the remaining lists that they have for the faction, telling the person filming, in secret prior to setting up their models. So they'll just tell me what number list they're going to use, and then both sides will play their models. Character restrictions are in place across all 9 lists, so no named characters can be used more than once. Players can play up to 3 factions in the league, so character restrictions across the different factions remain, so no copying Gorman, right? This could mean that if you played 3 factions across the league, you'd pilot 3 factions worth of Masters tournament lists if you wanted to. Odd number lists are allowed. So if you wanted to, you could play 7 lists from one faction, 2 from another, and 1 from a final one. That's okay. We're okay with that. And that's to ease restrictions on potentially people have a big collection of one army, a medium collection of a second army, and a tiny collection of a third army. All models must be painted. This includes the bases. Unbased models or models without finished bases are not allowed. That means no paint splashed on. They have to have their arcs marked and stuff like that. That's mostly for you guys, the viewers. We want you to be able to know where people are facing. The best way to do that is to have finished bases. And the best games that we film have finished painted miniatures in them. So that's something for the MiniWarGaming League. And of course, we're going to be using the most current steamroller rules and scenarios with just one, maybe a couple amendments, but the one major one is due to filming restrictions, obviously we're not going to use clocks. It just makes sense. It's really hard to film something with the clock ticking down. So to ease restrictions on the filming and on the players themselves, no death clock. And then how you're going to earn points. So in Season 4, the Warmachine Hordes League will earn points, 100 points per win for their first 5 games, in-game points, and then 125 for the last 4. So the first 5 games are worth as much as the last 4, meaning if you've got a really cool list that you're super comfortable with, you don't necessarily want to blow it early on, because if you save it for later games, it'll be worth more game points to you. The point there is that there's a potential 1,000 game points in the league, and every game that you guys watch, people are going to be trying to win. It's never going to be a point where the games don't matter anymore, right? If you want to win this overall league, you need to be playing to win all the time. And have written 9 lists that you think you can win with. And then there's going to be 10, just like last time, there's going to be 10 points per achievement earned for a potential 1,000 achievement points. Now I want to talk about the achievements. I'm not going to go through all 100 achievements right now with you guys on camera because that would just take forever and be boring. But the primary change I made is legitimate tactical value because they're trying to win and they're trying to get the achievements at the same time. So both of those things are there to encourage diverse gameplay. There's still 20 list building achievements. So literally guys will start the league if they've submitted 9 army lists to complete all 20 of those with 20 achievements. So they'll go into it with 20 achievements if they've created 9 lists that can fulfill those achievements that they think can win. That means you're going to see probably tier lists, hopefully, from everybody. So some interesting, unique tier lists, as well as a variation in Warjacks and Warbeasts and Warcasters. So guys who are really going for the achievements, that's going to be done already. And that'll be done through the list building part of it. And we'll know right at the beginning, every time they play a list, what achievements they've unlocked. Those are the primary 2 changes for the achievements, and hopefully they're going to make it so there's never a point, actually even just to scoring, there's never a point where you guys don't get to watch an entertaining game of Warmachine that's 2 guys really trying to win, but doing so in a unique and interesting manner. So what we've basically gone to is, when I was organizing tournaments in the past, hard scores and soft scores, right? Hard scores are wins. It's stuff that happens on the table playing games. We've got 1,000 points available in hard scores. If you play all 9 games, all 1,000 points, those are available to you. And then 1,000 points in soft scores, and those 1,000 points are available through interesting and unique, challenging tactics and games, right? So those 1,000 points, you're going to earn most of them on the table or through list building, and they're just as open to everybody, and they're what's going to make the games interesting, and fun. And so that's the thrust of what we've changed in the scoring system mechanic. We'll track points destroyed and CPs as well throughout the league because those are important tiebreakers. If guys are tied for either one, you can always go to CPs and then points destroyed. You just got 2 tie-breaking mechanics that help you to just break down ties, basically, because when you've got people with any kind of scoring mechanic, it's possible to get into a tie situation. And that's really it. The prizes and awards are basically the same as last time, some minor structures, but you guys can look at that stuff later. There's going to be 3 overall title awards. We're going to call them titles now because I think it's a league. You should win a title. If I could get a trophy that you could put rings on, I totally would because I'm Canadian. And then people could drink out of it later. Throw champagne everywhere. But the 3 titles are going to be League Master because we're basically copying the Masters format here, but in a league system. So the League Master is the guy who, throughout our league, it's going to run probably 10-ish weeks over the winter, gets the highest combined score. Once again, highest combined score will be broken by points destroyed and CPs and then points destroyed as well. There's going to be League Tactician, so that's just highest game points, once again broken by CPs and points destroyed. And then Overachievers, just like last time. The guy with the most achievement points, broken by CPs and points destroyed. So there'll be participation prizes as well for the guys taking part based on the achievements that they earn. So everybody's going to get a prize if you play 5 games and you've got some achievements. And that's it. So I hope that helps, guys. Once again, this video is going to be linked every single time you see a Warmachine Season 4 video in YouTube. So if you see someone who's confused as to what's going on, or who has a comment like, well, why didn't he use this guy in this list? And that guy's already been using somebody else's list, or he's maybe elsewhere in a different army. Tell them that, click that link. Hopefully this preamble helps people understand what's going on and why we changed what we changed, and how the Masters League format works. So if you want to check out the achievement list and the league format list, Both of those will be posted in the MiniWarGaming forums. Just go check them out. And I hope this video helps you guys understand where we're coming from, what we're trying to do, and make these videos for you to watch, and that they're super enjoyable. And until next time, I'll see you at the Warmachine League Season 4. Happy wargaming.